Good evening and welcome to our special report. Tonight, we bring you an eye-opening story that is shaking the global tech and education communities. A groundbreaking study from MIT Media Lab has revealed the first ever brain scan-based evidence of how prolonged use of ChatGPT may impact the human brain. The findings are both fascinating and deeply unsettling. Over a period of 4 months, researchers conducted a controlled experiment using electroencephalograms EEG technology to monitor how human brains respond to writing tasks with, and without the aid of artificial intelligence. 54 volunteers, ages 18 to 39, were divided into 3 groups. One used ChatGPT to help with writing essays, one used Google Search, and the last wrote entirely on their own without any digital assistance. The writing assignments were based on SAT-style prompts, and each session lasted 20 minutes. At first glance, this sounds like a typical academic experiment. But what the researchers uncovered has triggered urgent warnings, especially concerning young people. From the earliest days of the trial, researchers noticed an unmistakable pattern. Participants who used ChatGPT consistently demonstrated the lowest level of brain engagement across all 32 measured regions. Their neural responses, particularly in regions related to language, focus, and decision-making, showed a gradual decline. Over time, many in the AI-assisted group began to rely on the chatbot entirely, often just copying and pasting the responses it generated without any personal input. Dr. Natalia Kosmina, the lead researcher, called these findings profoundly concerning. She observed that the essays written with ChatGPT assistance were nearly identical in structure and tone, lacking originality, variation, or depth. When 2 English teachers were asked to grade these essays without knowing their source, they described them as soulless and empty in substance. The concern here is not merely about laziness. EEG scans showed clear neurological evidence of reduced cognitive activity, most notably weakened alpha, theta, and delta wave patterns, which are vital for memory, creativity, and semantic processing. By the third essay, many participants in the ChatGPT group had essentially surrendered their cognitive agency, giving simple commands like, "Give me a better sentence," or "Rewrite this paragraph." In contrast, the group that worked without any digital assistance showed the strongest neural activation across the board. Their brainwaves indicated higher engagement, stronger memory retention, and more satisfaction with their work. They were actively thinking, exploring ideas, and learning from the process. But the most dramatic results came from what researchers called the reversal challenge. In this phase, participants were asked to rewrite essays they had completed weeks earlier without AI help. The AI users performed significantly worse. Over 80% could not recall basic points from their original essays, and their brainwave patterns during the rewrite task showed sharp declines in alpha and theta activity. Even more alarming, their neural connectivity had dropped by 47% from an average of 79 points to just 42, using the study's internal metrics. Dr. Kosmina described this as a form of cognitive debt comparable to technical debt in software engineering. By offloading the effort of learning and reasoning to AI, users failed to internalize any meaningful knowledge, despite completing tasks faster up to 60% more quickly than the unaided group. These participants exhibited a 32% drop in germane cognitive load, the mental effort crucial for creating long-term understanding. In simple terms, they finished the assignment, but their brains never actually learned anything. Even more troubling, when AI-dependent users were forced to think without assistance, their performance fell below that of participants who had never used AI at all. This suggests not just dependency, but a form of cognitive atrophy, like muscles forgetting how to function after long disuse. This has led researchers to issue an emergency warning, particularly regarding children. Though the study has yet to be peer-reviewed, Dr. Kosmina chose to release the findings publicly out of what she described as deep concern. She fears that in the near future, decision-makers might begin advocating for AI tools in early childhood education. Her message was clear: that would be a disaster. Young, developing brains are the most vulnerable to long-term harm. Her warning is echoed by Dr. Zishan Khan, a child and adolescent psychiatrist. Over-reliance on large language models could have unintended psychological and cognitive consequences, he explained, especially for young people whose brains are still forming foundational thinking patterns. Still, the study offered a glimmer of hope. When participants who had worked without AI were later given access to ChatGPT, their brain scans showed increased activity across all EEG bands. This suggests that when used responsibly as a tool rather than a crutch, AI has the potential to enhance cognitive processing, not diminish it. But it must be approached with caution and intention. In a world where AI tools are rapidly integrating into daily life, this study may be the first of many to ask a difficult question. At what cost are we buying convenience? Thank you for joining us tonight. Stay thoughtful, stay curious, and most importantly, stay engaged.